Hi, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like all of our recipients and nominators are here. So we'll get started. I was made aware that once you're up here, it's okay to take your mask off if you are presenting or saying some words after you're accepting an award. So please feel free to do that. And hopefully you found a comfortable seat. We had the programs out there in a way that makes everything socially distanced. So please, if you're still finding a seat, look for one with a program. There's actually some seats upstairs as well. My name is Amy Betty, and on behalf of the Pittsford Ptsa, I'd like to thank you for joining us this evening, either here in person or at home via live stream. And I also want to thank you for your flexibility in transforming what used to be a lively in-person event with food and music, although we did have some lovely entrance music today. Thank you for that. And what last year was a completely virtual ceremony, done at the last minute, but we were able to pull it off, to what we have tonight, which is a hybrid. And socially distanced, masked, watching from home, some of our viewers, is a step in the right direction, and it feels good. So I'm happy everyone could join us either here or at home. The Ptsa Honorary Life Membership Award is given annually to recipients who dedicate their time and service to the youth of our community. They were nominated by someone who knows how much each of these individuals enriches the lives of the young people of Pittsburgh. The nominations are also supported by letters from parents, students, colleagues, community members, explaining exactly the contributions each of these 10 individuals that we're honoring tonight has given to our community. And to the recipients, I can't wait for you to read these letters. They are so special. The actual award is quite simple. It's a pin and a small certificate from the New York State Ptsa, or PTA, I should say. And more importantly, the Pittsford Ptsa makes a donation on your behalf to the New York PTA Scholarship Fund. So I thought you would like to hear that. This evening, we're honoring 10 people in our community, and you'll get to hear about each of those 10 people and see a few photos from the actual person who nominated them. And we're going to begin tonight on a note where Kim McCluskey is going to present an award to the family of Beth Miller. Sadly, we lost Beth a few months ago, and her family's here to accept this award. We don't have to tell you how special she was. You already know that. I do hope the words you hear tonight and the many letters you read will fill your hearts and fill you with love and a reminder how much she has done for our community and how she will be missed. So Kim, I will hand it over to you.
Good evening. Wow, it's so nice to look out and actually see people, no cardboard figures, no little squares of you in Zoom boxes. It's nice. I'm very honored this evening to be here to speak on behalf of many others who also wrote letters supporting the nomination of Beth Miller to receive a Ptsa Honorary Life Membership Award. One beautiful day last summer, Beth and I were sitting on her patio talking about all of the years we were both involved with Ptsa. I mentioned the Life Membership Award and was shocked to find that Beth had never received one. I decided right then and there to nominate her this year. It didn't take long to find 14 other people who were very willing to write letters to support her nomination. Sadly, this past February, Beth passed away after a courageous battle with ovarian cancer. However, all of us agreed we should still move ahead with her nomination. I first met Beth in 1994 when she served as Ptsa chairperson at Jefferson Road Elementary School. It was my first year serving as district Ptsa president. Monthly, our PTSA leadership met with our superintendent. They were lively meetings, and I always enjoyed Beth's sense of humor, her willingness to give it her all, and her ability to just figure it out and get it done. Nothing was too much for Beth to tackle. The following 2 years, Beth served as District Vice President of Program Support. After that, Beth served as PTSA District Hospitality Chair before becoming the PTSA Super Sale Co-Chair in 1999. The Super Sale was Beth's passion and where she spent all the rest of her years volunteering and eventually becoming one of the sale's famed flower ladies. If you've ever attended the PTSA Super Sale, you will see the flower ladies with their colorful flowers in their hair or pinned on the color of the day outfits. If you've ever worked at the Super Sale, you will quickly understand what an enormous and daunting undertaking it is, requiring a variety of skills and an abundance of energy. This event, by far, raises the highest amount of money of any PTSA-sponsored event. The profit is divided and distributed to each school based on dollar per pupil, and therefore benefits every student in our district. The sale also serves the greater Rochester community by selling wonderful used merchandise to hundreds of people and then donating the remaining merchandise to many different local charities. Beth's hard work and dedication to this event for over 2 decades speaks to her loyalty and her commitment to our entire community. Beth's nominating letters were written by a former elementary principal, 4 district past presidents, past PTSA presidents, and many wonderful friends, and all of the Super Sale Flower Ladies. The Flower Ladies are a special group. They start planning the next year's Super Sale as soon as the current year's sale is over. They have become wonderful friends, and here are just a few of their descriptions of Beth, and I quote, "Beth was the Super Sale in heart and spirit. Every year, Beth took on a parade of student volunteers, including the Interact Club. She had a wonderful way with the students, and they gravitated to her like sheep. She motivated them by talking to them about the value of volunteering, and also encouraging them to return and bring their friends. Many of Beth's student volunteers returned year after year. Beth has been one of the most dedicated and hardworking members of the committee for over 20 years, well beyond the years her own children attended Pittsford schools. I have a vivid memory of Beth telling me that she was leaving the sale for a few hours to go and have her chemo treatment, but she'd be right back after that. There was no better friend than Beth. I always knew when she called me, I would feel 100% better about life or a problem after talking with her. The Super Sale would never be the same without her." Others who knew Beth in different roles had these things to say about her. Beth always wanted to do the right thing for the children of our community. Beth was a little thing, but she was feisty, driven, determined, and brave, very brave. Beth always went beyond what was expected and always did it with a smile. She seemed tireless, always giving, never complaining. Beth was the one who showed up with a big smile, one that always made you feel like you were the only person in the room. One is fortunate to have met Beth Miller along the journey of life, and I, for one, am grateful for the time we shared together. May her family find some comfort in knowing how respected and loved Beth was, and by so many. Those are the end of the quotes. For approximately 30 years, Beth volunteered for Pittsburgh PTSA. She held multiple positions, and she always showed up, ready to work, brainstorm new ideas, and support in any way she possibly could. Beth was that person who always did for others. No one realized how ill Beth had become, because she never made it about her. She always made it about you. Beth had a lot of yous in her life, and she cared about all of you, and your letters of support tell that story. As I reflect upon my 30 years of being involved in Pittsburgh schools, there's no one more deserving of this award than Beth. She is an incredible example of someone who gave her heart and soul to Pittsburgh PTSA, Pittsburgh Central School District, and the greater Rochester community. She did so quietly, without fanfare, and with much determination, hard work, a sense of humor, and perseverance. May she rest in peace, knowing what a huge difference she made in the lives of others. Michael, Beth's husband, and her daughter Catherine are just going to come up and say a couple of words.
Since I know these things tend to go on, I'm going to be very brief. I'd like to start by thanking Kim for that wonderful tribute. I hope you have a sense now of how much PTSA and all of you meant to her. Thanks again also to the PTSA and everyone involved in arranging this special event and in nominating Beth for the PTSA Life Membership Award. Beth's lifelong passion was always about taking care of children and families. Her dedication to them was reflected in her early work as a pediatric nurse practitioner and nurse educator, in caring for her own family, and in her volunteer work in the Pittsburgh school system. Those of you who knew Beth knew her to be understated and self-effacing, never seeking attention or public recognition for her many acts of kindness, generosity, and decades of service to the community that she loved with all of her heart. So if she were with us tonight, Beth would likely be surprised and a little self-conscious about receiving this award, but deeply touched and grateful to be honored by the many close friends she made over so many years of shared effort for the benefit of Pittsburgh schools, the PTSA, and our community. Thank you for recognizing Beth's many contributions tonight.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you to Beth's family for being here. Certainly, Beth and her spirit is the type of recipient who we honor with this award, whose impact has been spread out in our community for years and years on end in many ways. The next recipient is going to be plural because there are two people who it seems couldn't really be honored unless they were honored together. And I'm going to skip ahead and go back. And we are going to be having Tammy Keller from the Sutherland High School Music Department and Sarah Gibson, come on up, the Friends of the Sutherland Performing Arts Booster Club, and they are going to together present two awards to Tom Indiano and Dave Schmanzik.
Did you bring a funny hat or a tie or
I
a
should have.
joke?
I really should have. I really should have.
Justice, are we?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Tammy Keller, and I am here with Sarah Gibson to speak about two long-standing members of the Pittsburgh Music Department. It is my privilege and honor to say a few words about Tom Indiano. I had the pleasure of working with Tom for 24 years. He is one of the most dedicated and hard-working individuals I know. He taught a total of 42 years. 36 of those years he dedicated to the students here in Pittsford. Over the years, Tom has fostered the love of music with band, jazz, and theory students from 6th grade through 12th grade. Tom was also the building leader at Sutherland High School for many years. He had been a strong leader for not only the department, but for the building as a whole. His commitment, dedication, and education of music for students has always been his top priority. Tom believes that students should have fun while learning, and always used to use himself as an example. playing pranks, enjoying laughing with the students, and just having a fun time. If you ask him, I'm sure he would share a bunch of wonderful stories with you. Tom helps students to set goals and understand what it takes to achieve them while providing support when they encountered obstacles. This was true not only for the students' musical endeavors, but for life. Tom always let the students know that whatever path they took in life, music was always there for them. Erica Deangelis, a 2015 Sutherland graduate, said his dedication to students was unmatched. He always challenged me to work hard, but he was always very kind and supportive of my needs as a musician and a student. I am definitely way more confident in myself due to the mentorship and the guidance I received over the years from him, and to this day. I cannot thank him enough for that. His love of music is infectious to everyone around him and inspired so many people. Tom, thank you for sharing your passion for music and teaching with our Pittsford students.
So I'm here tonight with two different hats on. One is as a parent of a current music student at Sutherland who has decided to choose music for her passion, for her future, and her college. And in much part, I attribute that to the many hours and time that she spent with Mr. Schmanzik. I think he has inspired her to love music and to decide this is what her path is. I'm also here today as the president of the Pittsburgh Sutherland Music Booster Club, the Friends of Sutherland Performing Arts. That organization was dormant for many years, and when Mr. Indiano was deciding to retire, he thought that this organization must be rebooted, restarted, and he got it going again. So it's with both of these hats that I'm here today. It was my honor to recommend David Schmanzik for the Pittsford PTSA Honorary Lifetime Membership Award. It's my opinion that he's an excellent representation of the criteria for this award, as his contributions to the lives of the students in our community have been greatly enriched by his skills as a music teacher, but also his ability to shine as a role model. Dave retired in 2020 with almost 20 years of teaching in the Pittsburgh schools and nearly 20 years prior to that. Dave was an excellent music teacher who not only inspired his students to work hard with their instruments, but also to have fun and to work hard in their other classes. I often heard that his students would check into the music department before school, during lunch, after school, to have a quick chat with Mr. S. And he was quick to smile and joke and have a good time with his students. But Dave also pushed his students to stretch their musical skills to participate in extracurricular activities such as solo competitions, pit orchestras, or ensembles. In Pittsburgh, we are so lucky that we were the beneficiary of much of that time. Many of us have come to the musicals here at the high school and have been amazed at the ability and capabilities of our high schoolers to perform these wonderful musicals. Dave was a great champion for his students at all of these events, and I remember the very first time that I met him was actually at a Solo Fest competition at one of the other area schools. It was when my daughter Jessica was in middle school, and it was her very first Solo Fest. Dave made sure that he made all of the students feel comfortable and feel confident that they were going to do their best. And I recall that later that evening, I got a text from him with her results. He wanted to make sure that his students weren't sweating it out all weekend long, wondering how they did. And that really made an impact to me that he cared that much about his students. Outside of school, Dave has been very active in our Rochester music community, performing with other organizations such as the Flower City Orchestra and the Crazy Firemen. Many of you have seen him at many festivals doing what he loves to do, which is perform music. And as far as a state music educator, He's conducted many all-county band festivals around New York State and participated in the many educator organizations that host festivals for high school musicians in our county, region, and state. Each of these festivals are so enriching for the students. It allows them the opportunity to spend time and grow outside of their school music that they perform and just give them the ability to spread their wings and challenge themselves. He's always shared his enthusiasm for extracurricular activities and pushed his students just a little bit further. Dave's legacy as a great music teacher will live on for many years. He inspired countless Pittsburgh students to love music, love life, and in many cases, those students consider him to be their favorite teacher. And I have just one other little story to tell about Dave. My daughter recently celebrated her 18th birthday, and I come downstairs, I'm bringing some snacks, and I hear on FaceTime, there's a man's voice, and I'm like, oh, what boy are you talking to? And guess who they were talking to? Mr. S. So it was very funny too that my kids and my kids' friends still really want to be involved and have him share in their lives. And so this is just an example of how he is making a contribution to different students and into our community. And Tammy.
As students have watched and learned through the years, these two gentlemen are not only amazing individuals, but a dynamic duo. From their college years to teaching, Tom and Dave continue to complement one another and provided the students of Pittsford with long-lasting memories through music education. Congratulations to Tom Indiano and Dave Schmanzik.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be on the stage again. Miss the students immensely. But, excuse me, I'd like to thank personally, and I know I speak for Dave, that Superintendent Pirro, Mr. Puma, Mr. Walker, all the administrators that I've had the opportunity to work with, some of the finest. Having worked in several different districts, you sure made this place feel like home. So I'd also like to acknowledge the people that are doing the job right now. It's not easy through all these times, whether it's in the arts, whether it's in our core subject area. So a big shout out to all the teachers who are doing the job right now. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Sarah and Tammy, first of all, for their kind words. Many of the things I had planned to say evaporated as I listened to those, so thank you for that. Really want to thank the administration. Tom and I didn't talk about what we were going to say before we got up here, but our longevity is largely due to the support that the arts and music in particular received through our careers here. They kind of let us run with a lot of things. We probably should write a book, but I'll buy a copy and he'll sell me one, and that'll be the end of that. It was a most enjoyable time here due to that support. Other kinds of support I want to mention, and in no small measure was that of my wife Laura and my son Jared, who I didn't know was going to be here. But Laura married a musician, and everything you read about that is, well, not everything, a lot of it's true. Certainly the time away counts for something. You're at the All-States and the festivals and the gigs if you're playing and all those other things. They can be a tough thing. But did you know, and I bet you didn't, Laura and I met in the Pittsford schools. It was a middle school musical, and we were both working on. And that's how we got to know each other and eventually got married. So there's a lot of memories for us in the schools as well. And one that I'll tell quickly is there was a concert right on this stage where I thought it would be sweet of me to dedicate a number to Laura. So I made a brief speech, and she was very appreciative. It went off beautifully. And the next day, there was a young lady who came in. I guess her parents were in the audience, and her dad's a physician. And the mom and dad were sitting there. After I made my little speech, the mom slaps the physician father and says, how come you never do anything like that for me? And he said, okay, tomorrow morning I'll dedicate my first colonoscopy to you. Many more memories, but thank you so much. Let's go this way. Oh, we got to go that way. Yeah.
Well, thank you both for coming back so that we could honor you, and we're happy that you still consider this part of your home. Now we will hear from Principal from Allen Creek Elementary School, Mike Biondi, and he's going to be presenting an award to Carolyn Wagner.
Thank you. It is good to be up here and see real people in front of me. That's really nice. So I have a list of all the things that we know why Carolyn deserves this award. And my list includes that she has done so much for others as a part of the Seton 21 group that raised money for St. Mary's Hospital, raising money for American Diabetes Association, Leukemia, Lymphoma Association. She participated in annual walks for breast cancer. She has been part of the Pittsford Teacher Center for many years. And those are all the things that I really wouldn't know about Carolyn. Those are the things that she has done in her life selflessly, and it's just who she is. What I want to share with you about what I do know about Carolyn is that Carolyn is pure joy in everything she does. She's a teacher, a reading teacher at Allen Creek School, and I've had the privilege of being with her every day for the last 6 or 7 years. I've known Carolyn before that, but at Allen Creek School every day for the last 6 years. She is pure joy. She is always able to be encouraging and supportive to not only the many, many children that she has taught, but to the staff and to our parents. Through the challenges the last year and a half, even through the mask, Carolyn is pure joy. And I will miss that most about Carolyn, that she always has such a kind word to say and such a happy greeting to give you every morning. One of the things that I also will miss is that Carolyn does not waste any time when it comes to teaching, because Carolyn teaches as she's transitioning kids in the hallway from room to room, and I hear her teaching, so I know what it is she's teaching and what those kids are learning throughout the hallway. She is passionate. She is just the most loving person you could think of, and she has just been a joy to spend time with, and so many children are so lucky and impacted by you, Carolyn. So thank you so much, and I'm going to step away and I'm going to let you meet this pure joy, Carolyn Wagner.
Well, I have to say, I truly appreciate the kind words that Mike said, but he is pure joy. It is wonderful to have an occupation and a profession where you go to school every day and you love what you do and you have wonderful people like Mike Biondi there to greet you. Before I start, I would like to begin by thanking everyone on the nominating committee for organizing this event. It's truly lovely, and it's wonderful to be able to see people with masks on and without. I would also like to recognize and congratulate all the other recipients of the Lifetime Membership Award. I'm deeply honored to receive this award, and I'm very humbled that Mike Biondi and my principal, along with colleagues, wrote letters on my behalf to recognize my accomplishments and commitment to teaching children. Teaching has been my passion and my joy for 34 years. This profession has blessed me with countless opportunities to teach and empower children to become lifelong learners who are confident readers, writers, but most of all, thinkers. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the very people who have been instrumental in helping me achieve this recognition. I have not done it alone. I am forever grateful to my family for their endless encouragement, support, patience, and love. They have been my sounding board, my assistants, and my audience, providing me time, feedback, and suggestions on how I can grow. Thank you to all the parents that entrust their children to me. I cherish the time that I spend with them. I find great joy and satisfaction knowing that I help them progress on their path to developing literacy, discovering the power of reading, which unlocks the world of possibilities. For it is with this power that my students are able to imagine, learn, and grow. I think about the premise, it takes a village to educate a child, and little did we realize how these words would resonate for the past year and a half as we adapted to the challenges we faced during the global pandemic. I am proud to be part of Pittsford Schools, a stellar organization whose commitment has been on learning and ensuring for the safety and social emotional well-being of the students, their families, teachers, and staff. Thank you so much. An immense thank you to all the people that I've worked with over the years, including my colleagues from St. Louis School, Jefferson Road, and Allen Creek. These dedicated professionals have and continue to influence my teaching. Their support inspires me to grow as an educator, and for the past 6 years at Allen Creek, I have been part of a professional learning community where teachers and staff work together like a family with a shared purpose that puts students first. The collaborative spirit and caring culture provides all students with the ACES learning environment, where each student strives to be their best, do their best, and make a difference in the lives of others. Lastly, an overwhelming thank you to my students, all the children that I've taught. I hold them in the highest of regards. My students are exceptional, and they go beyond what is expected. Their determination, perseverance, and enthusiasm towards learning have made a lasting impact on my life, and I consider that one of my greatest accomplishments. The memories of our times together, all those aha moments, or the life lessons that they share with me, will forever live in my heart and mind, and I thank you for that.
One of the really nice things about this award is it illuminates all of the parts of the community that we have here in Pittsford. how we need reading teachers and we need music and we need volunteers to help organize events that support the programs that make this such an exceptional community to live in and to have a family in and to go to school in. We will now hear from Jennifer Marin, Assistant Principal here at Sutherland High School, and she will be presenting an award to Sandy Stein.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to start by sharing a story that was shared with me by Amanda Marshall, an English teacher here at Sutherland. In summer of 2006, Amanda was set to meet her new mentor teacher, Sandy Stein, the next day at the new teacher luncheon. Sandy described herself to Amanda on the phone so that Amanda would know what to look for, who to look for, rather. Sandy said, "I'm about 5 feet tall, I have short, spiky hair, and I'll be wearing a jean jacket." According to Amanda, these words conjured up quite a mental picture of the person she'd be meeting the following day. Although that description made an impression, it did little to prepare Amanda for the impact Sandy was about to have on her life, not to mention the lives of our students. That is true for all of us. In her 20 years at Sutherland, Sandy has had a tremendous positive impact on the students and staff that reaches well beyond the building walls. Sandy is a founding member of our instructional support team. Over the years, she has met with countless students, whether they wanted to meet with her or not, and guided them through goal setting based on their own insights into their own strengths and weaknesses. And I've seen this process. So if you see Sandy work with a student in our instructional support team, the student is truly student-centered. And Sandy gets them there. She guides them to the place where they can see that this is their destiny and this is their goals. She has personally mentored students through this process and supported our parents as well as they navigate the academic rigors of our program. She gives her cell number to students and families and texts or calls students to ensure that they are up bright and early, ready to engage in school. And I have seen this, so we have even shared some of these messages. Sandy, along with Eileen Scoville, started Sutherland's after-school intervention known as Homework Club. Since its inception over 14 years ago, it has evolved into a building-wide support that hundreds of students have benefited from over the years. At no time was Sandy's commitment to our students more apparent than during this pandemic. During spring 2020, Sandy became an expert at sleuthing out students who were not engaging, and she was relentless at getting them to re-engage. She was relentless at getting them resources that the district provided, such as hotspots and computers, and she also discovered a need for some of our students that they actually needed printed copies of some of the work in our fully remote environment. Well, I don't know how she did it, but she managed to find some donated printers, and before I knew it, we had printers to some of our most at-risk students in that fully remote environment, and they were able to print out their assignments and successfully engage. I started calling her our fairy godmother, but really she's much too young for that label, so I went with fairy godsister. Sandy approaches each day with energy and focus, as if knowing wonderful things will happen if we all just work hard and maintain a positive attitude. And really, around Sandy, wonderful things do happen. I am beyond grateful that she is part of our Sutherland family. Congratulations, Sandy, on this well-deserved honor, and thank you to PTSA for giving us an opportunity to recognize such an incredible member of our community.
While I am sure that we will all remember this year for its quirks, I will definitely remember it for my PTSA gifts. In December, I was contacted with the news that I was a winner in a raffle for staff members who had joined the PTSA. I received one of 20 special blankets emblazoned with the words, Pittsford Strong. Pittsford Strong, very appropriate for the Stein household. I stand before you tonight, Pittsford Strong, a proud graduate of this district. Park Road, Barker Road Junior High, and Mendon High School were my stomping grounds. I'm the daughter of a former PTSA president, school board member, and board president. My mom, Doris Levy, served in those roles. At 92, she is the epitome of Pittsford Strong. I can't think of anyone who remains more vested in assuring that the standards of this district are upheld. I remember when she too received the PTSA Honorary Life Membership Award. I was a high school junior. It was a really big deal, and it was crystal clear how highly esteemed the recipients were. My husband Rich and I were involved Pittsburgh Strong parents, immersing ourselves in the various and fulfilling activities that our schools and local community offer. Our children, Aliza and Evan, are products of the district who stomped the same grounds I did. They are living Pittsford Strong in Brooklyn, where Aliza teaches first grade in a New York City public school, and in Chicago, where Evan is a bond trader. There's no doubt that what I experienced from my upbringing in Pittsford shaped my path. Here, I was taught the value of working hard and stretching to be my best self. Here, I discovered that teachers were caring sources of inspiration who touched my life well beyond the years I sat in their classroom. Here, I felt the importance of friendships and saw how the true ones stand the test of time. Here, I learned that giving back can be far more meaningful than receiving. This is Pittsford Strong. My Pittsford strength carries me through. When I started in the special education department at Sutherland, it enabled me to embrace the knight in me as fiercely and loyally as I hold on to my inner Viking. My Pittsford Strong is the spirit that motivates me to continuously improve my teaching craft so that I can capably keep pace with my talented colleagues. My Pittsford Strong is the force behind the nudge I give my students to stay on top of their game and not settle for mediocrity. My Pittsford Strong is the joy that comes from knowing that my days are spent with people that I adore, doing what I love, and that there's nothing I'd rather be doing. I'm grateful that the PTSA gave me the gift of my blanket, but most especially for this unforgettable evening. I am so very thankful to those who took the time and thought enough of me to honor me with this meaningful and unforgettable award. You can be assured that the memory of tonight will be a cherished one and one that will continue to make me Pittsford Strong. Thank you.
What a wonderful message about Pittsford Strong. And Sandy, the fact that you're a legacy for this award, I didn't know. I apologize I didn't know that in advance. I think you deserve a little something, little extra in your bag, or at least your mom does. But the message that Pittsford Strong transcends generations was really powerful. Thank you. Now we'll hear from Jenny Telek, Educational Assistant at Mendon Center Elementary, and she's going to be presenting an award to Lorinda Spring.
Good evening. My name is Jenny Talick, and I'm an educational assistant at Menden Center. It is my privilege this evening to present this award to Lorinda Spring. I've always admired Lorinda's professionalism, her representation of school-related professionals in our district, and her absolute commitment to promoting what is in the best interest of the students with whom she works. In a typical school year, Lorinda is an educational assistant in the Reading Resource Room at Menden Center. But as we all know, this year is far from typical. It was during 2020 that I really came to realize the full magnitude of her efforts. Lorinda is remarkable. Lorinda genuinely represents the array of SRPs of our district. In particular, in 2020, as we prepared to shift to a temporary new normal, Lorinda truly rose above. She seemed to effortlessly juggle her roles on the executive committee, the attendance boundary committee, and as the district SRP rep to the PDTA. With sweeping changes coming through our schools, she was the voice on behalf of those SRPs that might be adversely affected by attendance boundary changes or changes in the traditional model that our schools addressed this past year. In all things, she seems to take a minute to stand in the shoes of the people she represents and get a firm grasp on their perspective. With this in mind, her contributions are deliberate and insightful. Her knowledge and understanding of the union contract is extensive. I have often wondered if she doesn't fall asleep listening to the contract on a loop on her phone. There have been countless times in the past when I have approached her with a question regarding a coworker's concerns, and Lorinda, without even blinking an eye, has been able to provide a well-informed response, usually supported with the section, paragraph, and line that would apply. Coworkers have shared that no matter the subject matter being discussed, it is confidently stored in the Lorinda Spring vault, of secrecy and privacy. At the negotiating table, exec or union meetings, you will often hear her say, "Is this in the best interest of the kids?" Lorinda's primary focus is always the students she works with. This year at Menden Center, she has earned respect from her students and, as expected, seamlessly transitioned into her new role as a pod supervisor. When you enter Lorinda's room, you get an immediate sense of leadership, collaboration, and calm. Students comfortably approach her with questions, aim to do their best, and are encouraged to support each other in the learning process. She is tiny, she is fierce, and the teachers, paraprofessionals, and students of Pittsburgh schools, especially Menden Center, are grateful to Lorinda and her continuing work on our behalf. Thank you, Lorinda, and congratulations. I just wanted to add, Heather Clayton put in a short note. Heather Clayton is the principal at Menden Center. She said, "There is a noun for the Korean language called nunchi," and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Nunchi is the subtle, often unnoticed art of listening and gauging another's feelings. Lorinda is gifted at nunchi and has the ability to emphasize with others and understand their perspectives, no matter the situation. This has suited her well in her role working with many different children and adults. I have watched her connect with students who may be hard to reach, help colleagues through difficult changes, and support parents who are facing uncertainty. She is one of a kind, and Menden Center has been so lucky to have her as a member of our family. Thank you, Lorinda.
I would first like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the PTSA for selecting me to receive this Honorary Life Membership Award. It is truly an honor to be accepting this award alongside these well-deserving recipients. I would also like to thank my family, friends, and colleagues for their continued support over the years, especially my husband and father who are here tonight, and my younger son, Eric, who surprised me by coming into town for the ceremony. Finally, I extend a special thank you to Jenny Tellick for her kind words and for nominating me for this prestigious award. As I was pondering what I would say tonight, I asked myself the question, how have you been fulfilling your purpose in life? I've always been passionate about helping others, and I reflected on my experiences over the years. During high school, I worked at the Mary Cariola Children's Center, and after college, I provided music therapy services to children, adults, and seniors through BOCES, the Hochstein School of Music, and several long-term care facilities. However, for almost 20 years now, I have had the privilege of working in various roles as a school-related professional in Pittsford schools. I have truly treasured these opportunities to help students grow in a positive learning environment. Encouraging students to do their best academically and socially in a quiet, lighthearted, and calm manner has always been my goal. Being the proud mother of 2 Pittsford Sutherland graduates, my sons Ryan and Eric have developed into fine young men and are succeeding in their careers because of the educational experiences they had in Pittsford. As an aunt of 2 current Barker Road Middle School students, my niece Sophia and nephew John are blossoming into caring and confident individuals. And as an educator to many Pittsford students, I am proud to work for a district that recognizes the value our school-related professionals bring in providing high-quality education while instilling in students the importance of being compassionate and empathetic toward one another. We have always remained focused on doing what's best for kids, and I have seen this firsthand through my involvement in various committee work, such as interview committees, the attendance boundary committee, the negotiations team, and the district planning team. As part of the Pittsford District Teachers Association, I proudly represent all school-related professionals and advocate for our students. During these unprecedented and challenging times, we have all taken on responsibilities and educated students in ways far beyond what we thought possible. Each day, we continue to be resilient and rise to the occasion because we know the importance of continuing to foster a caring learning environment for our students. So, as I think about my purpose in life, I will continue to strive to make a difference and be a positive role model. Hopefully, in some small way, I have been able to make each day a little easier and brighter for others by offering a helping hand, lending a listening ear, and inspiring students to achieve their greatest potential. Having lost my mom this past year, I am thinking of her tonight on the eve of her birthday. I know that she is with me in spirit and smiling with pride as I graciously accept this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorinda. Again, this is an award that recognizes people who have gone above and beyond their role of working in the district to include many other ways to serve. So it's really wonderful to hear the many ways people serve and the many roles people play as parents of students in the district and also supporters of the PTSA and people working in the district. So this award really encompasses a great deal. Now we will hear from Radhika Ramesh, library paraprofessional at Thornell Road Elementary School, and she will be presenting an award to Roger DeBell.
Good evening, everybody. Wow, it's a relief to not have to wear the mask. As Amy just said, I'm Radhika Ramesh, and I'm the library paraprofessional at Thornell Road School. And it's my pleasure to introduce and give Roger the PTSA Lifetime Achievement Award. As principal of Thornell Road School, Roger has been an exceptional role model. The children absolutely adore him. They are constantly, if they see him in the hallway, they'll constantly be out trying to get his attention, and he believe it or not, pretty much knows every kid's name. He has led by example, displaying competency, leadership, compassion, and kindness. Roger is always there to problem solve. This year, with the pandemic and new roles and spaces for the staff, he made sure that each and every one of us was well informed and we were in the loop. We have had days when we were short of lunch monitors, and Roger has been seen pushing the delivery cart with lunches for the kids and depositing them in their desks in the classroom. Roger is outside for drop-off and dismissal every day, rain or shine or snow or ice or sleet. And he is constantly forging a personal relationship with the students and also the parents. I'm sure if you were to ask Roger, he would know which parent is picking which kid up on a given day. Roger is always available for staff to share any concerns or issues. His door is always open. He gives his undivided attention and is very easy to talk to. He's detail-oriented and thoughtful, and for him, the welfare of the students and staff is always foremost. He's very appreciative of any new initiatives brought forth by a staff member if he feels it would enhance the school experience for our community. Roger is very cognizant of the social emotional needs of the staff and is always receptive of building wide social initiatives. Every year, except for this past year, of course, our building would host Friday treats, fall luncheon, pre-Thanksgiving lunch, the annual holiday party, etc. Roger always participates in these events, and he also helps with the organization. He's a great leader and a thoughtful principal. He has been very instrumental in forging a close relationship between the local veterans at Rayson Miller Post 899 and our fourth graders. The children would meet with the vets pre-COVID at the post for breakfast and interact with them. One of the vets, Commander Al Herkovitz, donated a large number of age-appropriate books and artifacts to our school. They've been cataloged and are housed in the Star Lab and available for children and staff. The veterans always talk about how they love to visit the children at Thornhill Road. A couple of years ago, fourth graders interviewed them and published a book about veterans' experiences. The veterans come to our school every year for the annual Flag Day celebration, and Roger, by his example, is teaching the kids that it's a great teachable moment for the children to see the veterans march with the flag and hoist it. It teaches the children reverence for national treasures like the veterans themselves. Roger has been very supportive of the Best Buddies program. He encourages and applauds the children in the program and participates in their events. This program has been growing and blossoming in the last few years. He is very instrumental in our IDP students' participation in the Special Olympics at Nazareth College. He's their loudest cheerleader. Roger's kindness is not just limited to the immediate school community. Roger, qualified as a deacon, has been ordained and was part of the Transfiguration Church in Pittsford. Now he's with St. Joseph's in Penfield. Roger is the quintessential Thornellian. There is no job that Roger has shied away from at our school. He will shovel the sidewalk, do bus duty, sub in the classrooms, do cafeteria duty, deliver lunches, be a mediator, always listen and be there for our school community. He wants to ensure a safe, supportive environment for our students. He's constantly on the quest to help children to learn love. He's constantly on the quest to help children learn to love learning by making school a very caring, welcoming, and safe space. Roger truly believes in our vision statement and lives the Thornhill Roadway every day, even when no one is watching. Roger is the most worthy recipient of the prestigious PTSA Lifetime Award this year, and I want to thank the PTSA for taking the time to organize it and to hold this event live. So congratulations, Roger.
That's a longer walk than I thought. This recognition is truly very special. I would like to also thank our amazing PTSA and everyone who helped to make this evening possible. My heartfelt gratitude to Radhika for the nomination and everyone of our Thornhill Road family for their constant and unyielding support. I might be the one standing here in front of you, but I represent an entire team that does nothing less than care for our students, care for their families, and care for each other. That is the secret to our success. I know I pronounced that a lot in our mission statement, and a mission statement isn't just something that hangs on the wall, but it really is something to live by and inspire others. And our mission statement for Thornhill Road Elementary School is our dedication and commitment to teamwork, respect, and excellence for our students. And I can tell you, having been in this career for almost 31 years, I have never met a more committed group of people assembled under one roof who give of themselves each and every day. And this year has been just incredible to watch everybody step up and to go beyond what they typically do, which is always amazing. This year we have reassembled an entire school. We've essentially built a new school under the same roof. And the one thing that has not changed is how much we care about our kids, their families, and each other. And it has been a pleasure enduring this pandemic, if I could say it in those words, with the amazing people at Thornhill Road. And also I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to everyone in our school community, our Board of Education, our Central Office Team Leadership, Superintendent Piro. Everybody has helped us with their constant encouragement and support. Our families have been amazing. Our students have been incredible. I made a prediction early on at the board meeting in September. I said, give this a couple of weeks, and with the masks, the students are going to grow tired. They're going to become tired of it, and they'll quickly grow weary, and it'll be not so pleasant for them. I can tell you that here it is, almost the end of April, and we still have kids smiling, thrilled to be in school. They're excited to come every day. They're excited to see their friends and learn. And the testament to that is really the staff and the team and the support of the community that makes that work. So I am here representing everybody at Thornhill Road, and I thank you all for being here. And I need to say a special thank you to my wife, Jody, my mother, Louise. Thank you for being here in person. I love you both. And to everybody that might be watching online, thank you as well. So thank you for indulging me, and I would also like to extend a big congratulations to all the other recipients. It truly is an honor to be counted among you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a good reminder to hear that this year is different than other years. Not that we needed to be reminded, but if we had to go through this, it seems like as a community going through this together, we've only gotten stronger, or Pittsford stronger. So thank you for that reminder. We will now hear from Superintendent Mike Piro, and he will be presenting an award to Dr. Patricia Von Brogan.
Welcome, everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking our PTSA and especially Amy. Amy's been great with many emails and reminders and keeping us all on the right track. So, Amy, great job. Thank you. Just a quick sidebar, if I may. Sometimes when I have a rough day in the office, I will just tell my assistant I'm going to see students. And last year I had one of those days. And so I have a lot of those days, and when I try to circulate to different buildings. And the one day I left, I went over to Sutherland, and something really struck me tonight as I saw Dave and Tom present together. So on the tough day that I left my office, I went to go see students in Sutherland, and Dave and Tom were together, and they called me in to the classroom, and they told me they were both retiring. And this was 2 seconds into Sutherland, and I wasn't sure if they were joking or not. I had to process for a little bit. They had to convince me that they were really retiring. It made my day worse, so I'd like to say, thank you for that. But how good it is to see retirees being acknowledged and recognized, and how good it feels to have you back into this auditorium and back at Sutherland. I also want to acknowledge the list of people in front of me that are being recognized this evening. I could speak to each of the 10 people being recognized. It's an all-star cast. So for all of you who have dedicated so much service, for those that are here and not here with us, that's what makes Pittsford special. And the fact that we acknowledge all of your efforts is what makes our PTSA special. And so tonight's a special night. It's a night to really celebrate the good that we have. Tonight's the silver lining night. Tonight's the night to recognize the people that push through, challenge, and make us who we are, which I would agree, Sandy, is Pittsford strong. I have the honor to recognize Dr. Patricia Von Brogan, who has been in our district for 19 years in two of the most challenging positions that I would say that we have. One as a director of special education, and the other the director of student services. Pat, your service to our students and our parents and our community has been so impactful. It's been exemplary. It's been far-reaching, to say the least. Your positions have been complex, and they've often been highly emotional in dealing with stressful situations and topics. Throughout, you've led with integrity and compassion to all involved, and you've always sought to seek a resolve where people can leave feeling good. I met Pat in 2002 when she started in Pittsford, and I really knew that I was going to appreciate her leadership because immediately I saw how hands-on Pat was, which the further removed you are from the building, it's very easy to stay in your office and to send emails or to have an occasional visit. Pat was never that type of leader. She was hands-on. As she started as director of special education, she was a champion for full inclusion for our students with special needs. And under her leadership in 2002, I watched her change the perceptions of staff as they related to students with disabilities. She reinforced the notion that students with disabilities are our students. They belong in our building, and we need to provide programs to the best of our ability for all of our children. Pat revamped programs early on. I think we were probably one of the first districts to have co-teaching and follow the co-teaching model. She continued with also specialized programs so that our students could stay in-house as otherwise they would have attended off-site. She rolled up her sleeves and she did the work. She did it side by side with everyone that was struggling through certainly a third order change at the time. I would certainly say that Pat was in pursuit for that excellence and equity before this term even truly evolved. Fast forward to her role as Director of Student Services, and her quest for equity continued, and her work impacted students, staff, and families on a much larger scale. And this is evidenced in so much of her work that she has provided us with. Just in her code of conduct and equity work, which are both approved by the board as policy, shows her conviction to bring so many stakeholders to the table to formalize what our culture and climate needs to look like. Pat's been visionary, and she's incorporated best practices so that all students can feel safe, feel valued, and treated with integrity. Pat has led the charge for bringing our students of color together and further adding a sense of urgency towards equity work through her involvement with many different committee work. I'd said that she was hands-on before. Another example, I started meeting with our urban students on a monthly basis, and Pat's first question was, can I start attending with you? And so Pat came with me and helped process all of the words from our students. She was a significant rock to change, bringing our English language learner families together to celebrate, and working with other schools in the Rochester City School District area in a program called Rock Kids Connect. She also is a huge advocate for the underdogs. Pat's been an advocate for students who don't have the means that many of our other students do. When we started COVID and realized people were losing jobs and realized that we needed to call out for our community to help, I started writing cards to families and sending checks through our foundation, and that was when we had a little bit of money in the funds. It then grew to $60,000, and Pat took that process over. Pat would drive to students' houses and drop off checks, drop off gift cards. She would connect with students individually. Pat makes sure that students are heard and receive what they need. Pat's job is so many different buckets to that. I just want to touch on two more. One is around safety. This has been a heck of a year for all of us. And Pat is a facilitator for our Safety Council and our Health and Wellness Committee, which has been essential in trying to bring our COVID-19 protocols to life in a way where people felt comfortable coming to school and being in a safe environment. Her work on those committees and those that were involved under her leadership improved staff morale and also gave our physical plant a sense of safety. We deal with a lot in schools, from anything, the things that you don't want to think about, from violence to active shooters to all those terrible things. And those are the areas that Pat makes sure that are handled better than anyone else. We have cutting edge technology and policies and practices in place for prevention and response. And the last thing I'd mention about Pat is her focus on mental health. It's always been something that's been close to her heart. Pat's formed multiple partnerships to assist our district, which has led to additional programs, speakers, professional development, in order to provide the best mental health treatment and prevention for our students and families. Pat's also the very first person that gets a call, at always the worst times, when there's trauma in our district. And so if it's a Saturday at 3 in the morning and I get a call, my next call is to Pat. And Pat's able to bring together a very talented team to provide targeted trauma support to any individual or family or building or community that's in need of it. Pat, I couldn't be prouder of the work that you've done for our district, your dedication to our district, and for having you as a colleague. You're an inspiration to all of us, and we thank you for all you do and for this well-deserved recognition. Thank you.
Mike, thank you. Thank you for those, excuse me, wonderful and very kind words. I truly appreciate it. And I thank the Pittsford PTSA for this great honor. I'm humbled to be among the educators whose names are associated with facilitating the path forward for the next generation of teachers. It's wonderful that you do that. I've been to this event, I think every one of my 19 years in the district, and it's just so exciting to be up here and be recognized, so thank you. I remember that 2002 interviewing in Pittsford. We were returning to New York from Ohio, and when I had the interview committee, there were parents on that committee. And I was both excited to see that and a little nervous about that. These were families who would be influenced by my actions and my decisions. And they were right there asking me questions about inclusivity, about commitment, and my willingness to make changes to support their children. And I thought that was amazing. And then I knew I had found my home right here at Pittsford Schools. So tonight I'm filled with gratitude. My gratitude to the PTSA. We have over 50 years of research that shows us that what families do matters. Family engagement has such positive correlations with all sorts of indicators that benefit our children. And the fact that the PTSA is honoring educators tonight sends an important message about the value of educational partnerships. I have gratitude for Mike Pirro, Superintendent of Schools, for his nomination, but also for his unselfish and determined leadership. It impacts the entire district and community every day, and I appreciate his friendship for these many years. I have gratitude for my colleagues and friends in the district. Some of those who I've heard nominated me also for this award, and I thank you, and all of you for encouraging and challenging me to be a guardian and a champion for all of our students and families. I have loved working with your children. I have gratitude for our students who continue to keep me humble with their honesty and their commitments. Some of them I have watched grow from kindergarten through graduation, and what a joy that has been. I am proud of the deep inclusivity work we have done and will continue to do. It's difficult for me to leave this work as it is blossoming, but it truly is in very good hands. I've enjoyed building bridges with other districts through Rock to Change, and you can see the picture up there of one of the summits on race that our students have participated in, and also with the Urban Choice Charter School through Rock Kids Connect. There is no doubt that our students will be the change agents for our community and our world in years to come. They will carry us into the future, and the future will be bright. I have much gratitude to my family. My husband Mark and my daughter Kate both are here tonight, and my son Phil is watching from North Carolina. Their love, support, and patience is so appreciated. I thank them for understanding that school administrators have very busy lives and night meetings. Both Kate and Phil are Mendon High School graduates. There is no greater calling than to influence the lives of young people, and no greater place that I have been than Pittsford. Where else would we spend last evening meeting with parents and guardians about how to support their children and themselves through a mental health perspective as we muddle through this COVID-19 world together? Where else would my colleagues put in hours during the day, at night, and weekends, determining the next steps on all of the hard things we need to do, and especially during this COVID year? Where else would families passionate about their children's needs challenge us and support us to make things better, and recognize the value of educators as they do here tonight? As I retire from the district, I won't be far away as I continue this imperative at the University of Rochester, and will always have my heart here in Pittsford. Every day I get a quote about gratitude in my email. Today's quote was, "Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth." Shirley Chisholm said that. And I want you all to know it's been my honor to be of service at Pittsford Schools, and I thank the PTSA very much for this recognition. Thank you.
As we've heard from our nominators tonight and also from the award recipients, and as I read through the letters, I think the one word that we've heard and I saw more than anything was the word student, or students, students, students. We hear it over and over. And I think that's a testament to the partnership we have between the PTSA and the school and our entire community, that we are student-centered and student-focused, and this is an award to honor people who have maintained that idea that we put students first, and that's for the betterment of all of us. Now we'll hear from Josh Walker, principal from Calkins Road Middle School, and he will present an award to Greg Doherty Herman.
Thank you. And congratulations to all the recipients this evening. It's truly an inspirational evening to hear all the testimonies and comments. I will tell you, Greg, before I get started with my written remarks, that you have colleagues at home that have been texting me throughout. So my pocket is buzzing as they are sharing congratulations and comments for it. I'll let you read them later. The qualities of the PTSA Honorary Life Membership Award include a positive impact on youth, community involvement, and outstanding personal qualities. Greg Doherty Herman is an exemplar of these criteria and more. Greg has been in the district for over 30 years, from his days at Jefferson Road to Pittsford Middle School to Calkins Road Middle School. He has shared his enthusiasm and love of science with countless students over the years. He is a loving and supportive colleague, and his dedication to the mission of educating and caring for our students is beyond admirable. In the 8 years that I have had the privilege of working with Greg, his genuine and empathic nature has always shown through. When someone meets Greg for the first time, you immediately feel that connection and know the person in front of you is someone you want to be around. And I will share the first time I met Greg was when Andy Pettit was in town pitching for whatever team that was. And you were a guest of one of our shared colleagues, and that was the first time I met you. And I immediately thought, I like this guy. And I was right. Being in his classroom for 2 minutes has that same impact. Students know they are cared for and valued, and that the teacher in front of them will always work hard to bring them exciting learning experiences. Students simply love to be in his class and be part of that shared experience. Last February 2020, I had the honor of traveling to our sister city, Modi'in, Israel, with Greg. And for 10 days, I saw that exact exuberance and enthusiasm in those classes and in those schools, playing ping pong with the kids, asking questions, sharing love of music. Those kids saw that same attribute, those same traits in him, and wanted to be around him. Whenever we had breaks, they would all go to Greg. And that's exactly what it's like at Calkins Road. Whether it's showing up in his tie-dyed lab coat, dressing up for spirit days, or playing keyboards and singing during lunches, Greg always has that smile and spirit about him. Just by being who he is an inspiration for his colleagues and friends. He shows us all how to keep a level head, focus on the good, always take care of each other, and put the students first. I'm so happy and lucky to work with Greg, and I know that sentiment is echoed by everyone at Jeff Road, Pittsford Middle School, and Calkins Road that have had the same privilege. It is my pleasure to honor and to introduce Mr. Herman.
Thank you, Josh. I'm a little apprehensive taking off my mask because my wife assured me at the dinner table that one of the advantages of the mask was I didn't have to worry if there was any spinach or kale in my teeth from dinner. I think I'm okay. Thank you so much, Josh, for the nomination and your kind words. Thank you to PTSA for this honor. I feel such gratitude. I sat there, I thought so much about what I wanted to say was about gratitude, and I kept hearing Pat say it, so that was wonderful to hear that. Gratitude for being a part of this district. At the toughest part of my life, I really turned towards gratitude to get me through it, and things I was grateful for included my incredible family and friends, including my daughter, who's, I hope, watching this now, and my parents, and I thought about how lucky I was to work in this school district, a place where I knew I was always supported by faculty, by my administrators, by my incredible team that I work with. I just felt so grateful, and it's gotten me through so much to focus on gratitude. And now I have incredible gratitude to have found and love my wife and have her family become my family. So gratitude is so important to me because I feel like it is what brings us joy in life. And science shows, with my science background here, that it's not about that joy, people who have gratitude have more joy. It's not that the other way around. The causal effect is focusing on gratitude. And so teaching students, my goal is to help them love learning, help them love science, help them love music. For those of you who know, I'm a musician, but also to love life. And so with that, I hope to teach them always to look for gratitude, that I share with them that I have in my phone every day. Look how lucky I am, as it repeats as part of my calendar every single day. And I just feel so lucky to be a part of this district and to be supported and to see how social emotional learning is such a part of who we are. That it's not just about we do great with academics, but that's not all we do amazingly well. So I just want to say, look how lucky we are to be a part of this district. Thank you.
I was just going to remind you, Mr. Herman, we have something for you down there. And thank you for that reminder about gratitude. This is why we have this event this evening, is because we're grateful for all of our award recipients. And the final award of the evening will be presented by the PTSA President, Sarah Peluzio, and she will be presenting an award to Laura Schulitz.
It's bright up here. It's an honor to be here tonight to recognize one of Pittsford PTSA's finest volunteers as a recipient of the 2021 Honorary Life Membership Awards. Laura Schulitz is an exemplary member of our Pittsford community. Since moving into town with her family, Laura has become involved in several volunteer organizations, including Junior League of Rochester, Girl Scouts of Western New York, and Pittsford PTSA. It is through her participation in PTSA that I first met Laura. From the beginning, it was evident that Laura was a leader in her work. She displays confidence in her actions, is dependable, considerate, and trustworthy. Laura has been a tremendous resource to me throughout this past year, providing context to topics that were new to me. I'm incredibly fortunate to have Laura to rely on as a trusted partner in PTSA. Her influence has contributed to the great success of our organization for many years. It is apparent to all who know Laura that she is devoted to serving our community and is determined to achieve greatness in all that she endeavors. Laura's desire to support our school district is truly remarkable. She consistently brings forth a student-centered perspective that serves to benefit the best interests of our youth in every decision. Her experience lends itself to calm, rational thinking that has proven to be exactly what is needed in nearly every decision-making process. Laura's connections throughout our community have shown to be ever useful in our quest for new parent involvement. It has become natural to Laura to connect new parents to one another and engage them in our work through PTSA. Keeping a student-centered philosophy in mind, Laura consistently brings forth new parent volunteers to assist in the great work that we do in partnership with Pittsford schools. She is a tremendous asset to our organization, and we are lucky to have her on our team. Throughout this ever-challenging year, Laura holds numerous positions within PTSA. She is currently serving as the Mendon High School Building Co-Chair, Vice President of Resource and Development Council, and PTSA Super Sale Treasurer and Flower Lady. Additionally, Laura holds 2 Pittsford Central School District Committee positions on District Planning Team and Scenario Planning Committee. She has fully adapted to the current environment, embraced its challenges, and found success in the flexibility of the virtual settings. As an example, Laura has taken the term multitasking to an all-new level, attending meetings virtually in her minivan office. Laura makes the work look easy as she moves between work and family life. Her innate ability to manage many things is yet another example of her incredible leadership skills. She takes on each responsibility with grace and is seemingly underwhelmed by the workload. Laura Schulitz has positively influenced our Pittsford community in considerable ways. She is a role model to many, including myself. Her legacy of constant, steadfast support will carry on well into the future. It is my honor to recommend Laura Schulitz for the PTSA Life Membership Award. As an integral member of Pittsburgh PTSA, I can think of none other who is more deserving of this recognition. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So my husband and I were talking about that. He said that my speech stands between you all and your pajamas. So thought I'd throw that out there. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so honored to be, among this group. And here's my speech. We have a few mantras in our family that we often use. One of them is, if you can lean, you can clean, but no one listens to that. One we borrowed from the Girl Scouts, which we often say is important to build confidence and character and try to make the world a better place. And the third is, it's a privilege to volunteer. These have carried us through our many moves and our arrival here in Pittsford. My senior had been to 7 different schools. His sister, now a junior, had been to 6, and my now 7th grader, who's in the back, oh, hey, Christian, had been to 5. Before she started kindergarten. We unpacked our house in August, and I went to my first PTS meeting at Park Road in September. Eventually, I became the treasurer, moved on to co-chairing, volunteering at Barker Road, Mendon High School, and many different roles, including district vice president, and also I am a super sale flower lady forever. When you've moved as many times as we have, you need a few things to grab onto. A dinner that reminds you of another time, furniture to set up in the room the exact same way, and organizations to belong to and support. You take those mantras with you as you take your old friends and you share them with your new friends. A Girl Scout friend once said, we as volunteers are the scaffolding that allows girls to climb to new heights. That has stayed with me over the years, as without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do the many programs at our schools and in our community and allow our children to grow and to thrive. So, for all of you volunteers out there, and in the land out there, thank you so much for helping to make the world a little bit better. I did want to thank Sarah for the nomination. I have to say it was quite a surprise. I've written a few of these letters over the years, so I didn't expect this. Thank you for everyone I have met and worked with along the way. You're part of this as well. To my children, one who is here, one who just flew in through the door from practice, and one who is at a dress rehearsal bathing with her cast. I appreciate your patience and support all these years, all those conference calls, the Zooms in person on the sidelines during the game, intermission, and of course, in the minivan on the way to something. To my parents who are streaming this as well from my hometown, my mom and dad, and of course to my husband Chris in the back, for your understanding that he married someone who will always raise their hand to help, and lucky me, Team Schulitz likes to help out too. So thank you so much, it's an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you to the nominators for initiating the award process and for coordinating the letters of support for each of these very deserving nominees. I'd like to thank my fellow HLMA committee members for your help throughout this whole process, from receiving nominations through tonight's ceremony. Thank you, Joan, for the signs, and Sarah for actually giving the awards to people and letting them walk away with something. Thank you to Sutherland High School for letting us host an in-person and virtual ceremony. It's very exciting to be here. Specifically, Principal Mark Puma, Mark Bazant for arranging this so we can have it, meet with all of the necessary protocols, Aaron Brady for the AV support, and Varsity Media for live streaming this. Hopefully there's some people at home watching right now, and then it will also be recorded so people can watch later. Once again, thank you to all of the recipients for all that you do and the reasons you were honored tonight. It was wonderful to be here in person. It felt good, didn't it? At least for those of us who got to get up here and take our masks off. It feels like a step in the right direction. So here is to continuing to move forward, staying safe and healthy. Have a good evening, everyone, and thanks again.